Welcome back. A small six-person Wisconsin company could soon revolutionize the expanding world of lithium-ion batteries. Conovate in Milwaukee developing a substitute for graphite, which is a key component in batteries. Right now, the U.S. relies mostly on China for natural graphite. But Conovate's CEO and her team discovered the substitute when she was a physics professor at UW-Milwaukee 10 years ago. They call the material ecophyte, and it is made from renewable sources, including a key component found in abundance in the paper-making business right in our backyard. And we welcome in Dr. Carol Hirschmugel. She is the Conovate CEO and founder of this company, also a PhD in physics, former UWM professor, as we talked about. So, Carol, the discovery of ecophyte, I'm just curious, is that something that you were actually looking for in your research 10 years ago, or was this a byproduct, of other research? And if so, how long was it before you actually knew what you had here?
Yeah, so my colleagues and I at UWM, we were doing an important research project that was different. And all of a sudden, we detected some signatures that we weren't expecting. And we discovered graphene monoxide, which is really solid, the first form of solid carbon monoxide. We didn't know right away that that was going to be a brand new material. But with that, it took about a year, and we discovered that it was really this graphene monoxide.
So this ecophyte, let everybody understand just how much can this change batteries? What are we looking at here if this gets into mass production in batteries?
Yeah, so for mass production in batteries, this could change the ability to do faster charging. It could give us the ability to do better charging in low temperatures. A shout out to Green Bay.
Yeah.
We know you have your cars and so on in those low temperatures in the winter. And also, it can change perhaps the ability to do good long-term storage.
One of the attractions of this compound that you guys have created is that it won't rely on foreign supply chains for these industries that rely on graphite, specifically China. This is something that can be created, and it's very interesting that the Wisconsin role in this is the paper industry. So explain in layman's terms, if you will, the importance of lignin and just how prevalent that is to support mass production should you ever get there.
Yeah, we're making our material with lignin, which today is typically used, is typically a byproduct of the paper and pulp industry. And we are working with Beauregard, who works out of Rothschild, Wisconsin. And they are making a pure form of their material, a highly purified form of their material that is an excellent match for Conovate. So that we can develop our material from that product and have this novel advanced anode material.
So there's no shortage of this in the state, obviously, with the prevalent of the paper industry. So if you can get to mass production, you're not going to run out of this stuff. Where are you now in terms of how much of this you are producing? And put that in context of what it would need to be in order to support, mass commercial applications.
Yeah, these are two very different scales. Today, we are making 10 kilograms a month in our facilities in Wisconsin. What's needed with those 10 kilograms, we can work with our customers and get them to validate the material and demonstrate that the material is working well for their batteries. But for further validation, in the next year, we want to get to really 100 kilograms of material per day, working with contract manufacturers and partners. And with that, and validation from our battery customers, we would then go to ultimately a 10,000 tons per year plant. That plant would meet the initial needs for batteries for the grid storage, EVs, consumer electronics, and grow from there.
Are there other fields? We're talking heavily about batteries and consumer electronics, but are there other fields? I was reading up on this a little bit, and in the nuclear field, this could be used as a replacement for graphite. So really, where do the possibilities end for the application of your product?
Yeah, so right now in the nuclear field where we would have a biggest impact is probably on the storage,
Okay.
on the batteries. We don't really know exactly what all of the uses of our material could be. We've really focused on scaling up for anodes and lithium-ion batteries.
Okay.
And with that development, we imagine that we can then explore other applications, such as what's needed for the nuclear industry.
Okay, that is an industry that is expecting to see some significant growth. It already is overseas and is expected to be the same here
Exactly.
in the U.S. So to do all this, you need money. So where are you versus money raised versus money needed?
Yeah. So shout out to Tundra Angels in Green Bay. They have been a stout supporter of us.
Okay.
We raised $2.5 million through angel investors. And then we've also raised $3 million through state and non-dilutive funding from the federal government. This is great for what we've done so far, but we really need to also grow from here. So we are seeking future funding as well to grow from here.
Carol, is there a concern? I know there was a Department of Energy grant that you were awarded at the end of December. That funding was frozen in January. And there has been a pivot in the current administration in Washington away from some of the clean energy incentives. Is there a concern that that could affect what you're trying to do?
I don't think so,
Okay.
because where we are is we're making a critical material alternative. And critical materials, regardless of where they come from, are necessary, especially domestically sourced critical materials. We were in a critical materials accelerator announced for that, and we anticipate that that funding will be coming through. We don't know yet, we have not heard from them, but we anticipate it will be coming through because it is to address these critical materials challenges.
Is there some pride that if this goes where you want it to go and where it certainly seems that it can go, that this will be a Wisconsin product that really could have a global impact?
Absolutely. You hit it right on the head. I couldn't say it better.
Terrific. Carol, thanks so much for the time. Congratulations on this and really good luck going forward. This is pretty exciting.
Thank you very much, Chris. Great to talk to you.